Taiwan. My name is Chen, and the business card I gave to you that pronounced in Taiwan pronunciation at a Tan. But in Mandarin, I have to say Chen. And here, my passport or American registration is always Chen, C-H-E-N. And basically, I'm very deeply involved in the so-called Taiwan, USA Taiwan government here in the United States. Probably you have never heard of that, but if I have opportunity today, I would like to go over more detail. So that is basically my background, and we have been involved for this kind of campaign or movement for probably more than 10 years, and very difficult, very tough, and very confusing. So, but I come here particularly want your opinion in terms of the legal opinion. Because basically our background or what we do based on the so-called law, international law. Even though that's one story. The other story, even we sued the USA government in a court, 3 levels. The bottom line, at the end, they say it's a political issue, not a legal issue. And there's so many confusion. For argument's sake, to begin, so-called a complete, effective control. That's a very important issue in a legal area. But on our standing, it's very, very unfair, because that kind of condition is created by the terror. So is that legal or illegal? That is a question.
Well, I think that issue of whether something is properly decided by the courts or it's a political issue to be decided by the legislature and by the voters is something that you see over and over in the American system because of the principle of separation of powers that we have in our government. And even today, you'll see cases that come before the U.S. Supreme Court where they might decide this doesn't belong in court. It actually should be decided by the Congress. Many conservatives in the United States would tell you today that the court should say that more often. The conservative point of view is that the people, speaking through their elected representatives in the Congress, should resolve those issues if it's a close question, and that the courts should confine themselves more to a strict interpretation of the law. Liberals, on the other hand, believe that the final decision on the interpretation of what laws passed by Congress should mean and how they should be applied is up to the courts. So this is a philosophical issue that's very basic in the American legal system, and it's never finally and forever answered. It's an open issue that can come up again and again. And so in any individual case, you have to look very closely.
We have experience on that, so I believe our people do understand the tough situation right now. But just one good news for everybody here. I believe that Taiwan government, USA, has done a great job by today, because they can do whatever Kuomintang or DPP cannot do. That is, our people can knock the door, get into the Department of State and talk with them. It's never happened on Taiwan issue. And Kuomintang cannot do that, DPP cannot do that, but our people, although not recognized as legal government, but we still can get in. And if we call, if the guy in charge of this issue is not in the office, leave the message over there, and he will return the call. So that means, to me, it's a great progress since past 68, 69 years. So I believe someday we can get there, our goal. But today I'm here and I very value your business card is that everything we do is based on the law, on the legal issue. We don't do so-called political campaign or political, movement, that type of thing. And of course, no demonstration or no terrorism that we don't do. So that's the reason why even our people on Taiwan, they say there's no ROC in exile on Taiwan. They cannot do anything. I mean the Chinese. So they just open their eyes and watch you, but they cannot touch our people. And if they touch our people, we take action here, not in Taiwan. Taiwan court is owned or opened by the Kuomintang. That you have heard that kind of story many, many times in the past. So that's enough for me to stop today. Later on, whenever time is allowed, I'll bring up more sensitive question to see what kind of solution you can give to us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And that is, in many ways, one of the most fascinating and fundamental questions. The one having to do with sovereignty in Taiwan. What does ROC signify? Is it useful? Is it not? Is it part of the solution, or is it simply part of history? These are fascinating questions, and that don't have final answers at this point. I have some opinions in this area. I have a lot of questions. I think it's really interesting to discuss these and get different ideas on the table and learn from one another, because I'm still learning. And I thank you very much for your thoughts.
Yes, let me add a little bit. Okay. Because we consider legal issues so important, and that is the only way to explore to the international society. And but we don't have our background so poor. We don't have money, we don't have a manpower, and we don't have a power, of course. So we start from zero. So what we or I had did in the past, we try to educate our supporter, Caucasian American, to the law school to study law. So he might be able to help us in the future. So we do not put any pressure on this guy. Say, hey, after graduation you have to help us. We don't say that. And it's not the time. We just pay the money for the school. And he already graduated, but not get the license yet, and has to go to the overseas for his military duty. Still in the military. Very interesting situation. But he knows more than any other people understand Taiwan, understand ROC, because he spent a couple of years in Taiwan when he was young, and obviously his parents is also involved in a military position or job or whatever. So it's a long history. So and only one word catch our eyes or catch our mind that John was involved. The another two ladies, one my wife, she doesn't work, she Alzheimer. Okay, And he said, we asked the question, why you know so much about Taiwan? Why you are so much interested in Taiwan? And his answer is amazing. He said, I'm a soldier. And what do you know that the soldier has to give his allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. And unfortunately, our government is not doing exactly as per the Constitution of the United States. The Taiwan issue is one of the examples. That's touched our mind. So after about 3 years later, some guy, not me, some guy gave that motion, said, hey, we have to let this guy get into the law school to learn more law, so he might be able to help us in the future. And that's the reason why I asked him to deal your business guy, because he's not a lawyer yet, not an attorney yet. And because of that kind, our activities are very gentle and very quiet. And but the bad side that because of that, our people cannot support us. Not too many people can support us. Still, always a Christian, always a Christian, always a Christian. Hey, it's not on the written confirmation. Why your people get into the Department of State is only the photo. Well, photo, everybody can create a photo. Always a negative action.
Yes.
Negative, negative, negative. So that's the reason why I might be able to ask you one question. I don't know if you can answer me or not. Do you believe Taiwan is not the territory of ROC exile, or you believe Taiwan is the territory of ROC? One or the other.
Whether Taiwan is the ROC?
Yes, sir.
My feeling is that there's so many different considerations, legal, political, diplomatic, military, that bear upon, and history itself, that bear upon the issue. And where it leads us in terms of the necessity of Taiwan to deal with China. I think it would be great if Taiwan didn't have to deal with China. You know, if geography were different. If Taiwan could be located where New Zealand is located, it wouldn't have a problem with China. But the reality of life is that geography puts Taiwan right there next to China, with all of the claims that China has against Taiwan, with the realities that we have to deal with in terms of the existence or the absence of diplomatic relations, a very unique legal environment that Taiwan exists in. And where do we find the solutions? We can look at the goals that have been stated by the principal actors. And in this case, I think we can agree that the three principal actors, not the only ones, but the three principal ones, of course, are Taiwan, China, and the United States. Japan is part of the picture, others are part of the picture, but Taiwan, China, and the United States are the three principal actors. And the United States has a difficult sort of balancing act to do, because on the one hand, the United States has pledged not to be the intermediary, not to be the arbitrator, not to force a solution, but to let the issue be decided between the issues between Taiwan and China be decided